Oh, it's kind of cute. I kind of like it.
This is Roundtown Players, the world's community theater.
Hi, I'm McGann Gotham from Roundtown Players.
And my name is Danny Quinn.
She is going to be our lovely makeup artist today, and she is going to use my weird little bony face to show you guys how to do a basic theater makeup tutorial for a woman's face.
Yep, that's what we're going to do.
All right, and here are the products that we are using today if you want to follow along at home.
Okay, so we're going to start with a primer, matte primer preferably, but any primer really can work. Basically, we want to create a nice base for the makeup to stick to. We're going to go in, you want to do a full coverage foundation. This is the KVD Beauty Good Apple Foundation in the shade Light 012. For cream contour, we're actually going to use, this is a drugstore brand. This is a Wet n Wild contour stick in the shade Oaks on You. For powder contour, we have, this is the Park Avenue Princess palette from Tarte Cosmetics. I actually don't know if they even make this palette anymore, but I still use it quite frequently for contour.
But Tarte is still in business.
Tarte is still in business. I just don't know if they make this specific palette. And then for eyeshadow, we're going to use, this is just a sampling of some shades that I have taken out of pans. If you are somebody who wants to mix and match shades for stage makeup, these magnetic palettes are like $10 on Amazon and they're great.
Regular looking palette, and then it magnetically holds, like you can move these with your fingers.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Got a Wet n Wild lip crayon for lip liner. We are going to use, this is a ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip for the liquid lipstick. And we have this Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass Translucent Powder. A damp beauty sponge. This is the Morphe Highlight Contour Sponge. And for blush, we're going to be using, haven't really decided which one yet. We're going to be using one of these beautiful Trixie Cosmetic blush palettes. So we have obviously a very pink.
So cute.
Then we have purple and then orange.
You said that's Trixie Cosmetics?
This is Trixie
Cosmetics. I don't
Cosmetics.
have anything from her. I'm going to have to look into that. No, you're making me buy more stuff I don't need.
And an assortment of brushes and other things throughout. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start again with our primer. This is ColourPop No Filter Primer. It's a matte primer.
Oh, I still have hair in my face.
Yep.
The bands do nothing.
Find that when you have long hair, it just becomes its own thing. Its own
It is.
beast.
It's sometimes it just screams, feed me, see more at it. I don't know what it means. Oh my gosh, this stuff does smell and feel so good. Either that or your breath is just really delicious. I don't know.
I'm going to go with the primer.
Now it's getting uncomfortable in here today.
All right. So again, with the foundation, you want something that is full coverage. Most of your drugstore foundation is designed to be what they call like medium to full or medium coverage, but you really are going to want something that is going to be very full coverage. I know McGann, like myself, has some facial redness. I actually have rosacea, so this is actually the foundation that I use to typically cover that up, so I don't have to worry about doing any sort of under color correcting. If you do a full coverage foundation, it just really helps to just slather it on and then kind of blur it out, blend it out with a beauty blender. I'm actually going to just kind of brush this on one side of her face just so that you can get like that still moment where you can really see the difference with just brushing this, being able to just brush this on, how much coverage, like how different this side of the face looks versus this side. You can see all of that redness is just completely covered. We didn't have to do any sort of extra color correcting step.
Okay, I feel super like good looking right now. I'm ready to be Two-Face in the production of Batman the Musical.
I was an attorney.
And then acid came in my face.
I was betrayed by my best friend. We're making it up right now. Don't steal.
Yes, it's our intellectual property at this moment.
Yes.
Just nobody tell DC or Bob Kane.
Exactly. We just say, man with two faces.
I feel like that's already something else as well.
I know there's a man with two brains. Is there a man with two faces?
I feel like I've heard that, but maybe it is the two brains thing.
Here you go. Google it and then sound off in the comments.
Yes, let us know in the comments how off we are.
Tell us if there's a man with two faces out there. I mean, we all know there's a man with two faces out there, right, ladies?
Don't get me started. That's a whole different channel that we're talking about right now.
So with the Beauty Blender, if you've seen any YouTube makeup tutorial, you know the idea is to bounce it along the skin, push the product into the pores. You do not want to be putting too much pressure or doing any sort of swiping motions because that will brush the product off that you just set down.
So Beauty Blotter, remember, swiper, no swiping.
That's right. This just helps really push the product into the pores, into the skin, have it connect with that primer that we've put down and give us a nice neutral base. And then we're also going to use this to do the contouring. Stage contour is a little bit more dramatic than if you do contour makeup for every day. You know, stage contour is going to be more dramatic. You need to see it from farther away. You really want to create those shadows, those illusions. We're going to do a little bit of powder contour, but I also want to start with a little bit of liquid or cream contour underneath, and that's what we're going to be using this contour stick for. So basically going to put this, we're going to go underneath kind of the bottom of the cheekbone. Okay, we're going to frame the face a little at the sides. We're going to do along the top of the forehead. And we're going to do under the chin. And then we are going to take this Beauty Blender. We're going to blend that in. This is kind of around the amount that I would use just for a regular contour, like I'm going to do a YouTube video. So we may actually add a little bit to this, but I want to start light and build as needed. We have this highlight contour sponge. The best thing about it is it does have this unique shape. We've got the different sides, and then we have this pointer. This is really good for getting in along the nose. And then these different sides, you can use one side for foundation, another side for contour. We're going to start sort of pressing a little bit more than we would and just kind of diffusing that out. And then we can take like this angled part to get these areas right here. So as you can see, this is the blended side versus the non-blended side. I actually am going to go back and add a little bit more, but we're going to go ahead and blend this side first. I don't want to let it sit too long without blending.
And you do want to follow the bones and lines on the face, not add new ones, correct?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best bet. You want to make sure when you are balancing sort of the natural lines, because if you start creating lines that are a little too outside of the shape of the face, it's going to be really noticeable. Stage makeup, not so much, because you are looking at it from a distance, but you definitely want it to look like it's following a natural curve. It's just emphasizing those shadows to help thin the face. Now some of this effect that we're creating with the cream is going to kind of dissipate when we put the powder on, but we're going to start layering powder contour on top, so it's going to kind of bring it all back. All right, so we're going to start with some translucent powder. We're going to powder puff this on. I typically would not use a powder puff for my everyday, day-to-day makeup, but we're really wanting to kind of settle this in. This is kind of a thicker application of makeup.
You want it to be seen from space.
Yes. But the powder, this is translucent. It has, as you can see, a little hint of color, but it's also picking up a little bit of the foundation as well. If you are super fair, I would recommend using a more white powder. There are makeup companies that are specifically made like for stage makeup, like Ben Nye. If any of you are fellow fans of drag, you probably have seen some drag tutorials where they feature Ben Nye products.
I feel like that is basically theater makeup. It is very similar to like the really loud drag makeup.
Yeah, you know, you're taking the face of a man and feminizing it through makeup, so you have to create those contours, those natural face shape that a woman might have that a man does not. Or some of them it's very cartoon character, so it really just kind of depends on the aesthetic. So with powder contour, we've laid down this base translucent powder. Typically for my everyday, I use this fair shade Enhance and this brown shade Princess Cut. I am going to use the Enhance for the light areas of the face. We're thinking bridge of nose, under eyes, forehead, cut the hollows of the cheeks. But I'm actually going to go into a little bit of a darker brown, this angle shade, to really kind of re-emphasize that brown tone contour. And I use sort of a kind of a medium, flat packing brush to sort of pack those highlight shades on, because I feel like that helps them stay better. But when I'm putting the brown shades on, I use sort of a fluffier brush and do sort of a swirling, kind of a buffing motion.
I don't know if we've just done too much makeup today, but every time you're patting me, I can see the veins in my eyes.
I'm probably patting you too hard. It's probably
It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just all of a sudden it's I see all the little veinies going through my eyes while they're closed.
It's my inner German Brunhilde, just boom, boom.
So this is the darker one, right?
Yeah, this is the brown. I'm taking this big fluffy brush, kind of patting and swirling, creating that shading. And then we carry it along the hairline up into, and kind of with when you're using super pigmented eyeshadow or when you're using super pigmented powders, I usually try to start the application process where you want most of the color to settle. And then once you've kind of worked within that area and the brush is not as heavily coated, then I kind of swirl out to areas kind of to create a diffusing or fading effect. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a nose contour, nothing too crazy, because I will say that I don't typically do a nose contour much, but we're just going to take a little bit of that brown and a small eyeshadow brush. Just kind of highlight the areas of the nose along the side. And then just carry a little bit of that up towards the inner corner of the eye. Just blending that out a little bit. Now for brows, even if you don't typically do much to reinforce your brows for regular makeup, for stage makeup, your brows are going to become very washed out by the makeup process. You really want to be able to see them from far away. You're going to want to do, even with lighter color, you're not really seeking to match your color. You kind of want to go a shade or two darker. Megan already has sort of dark brows, but we're looking to sort of reinforce that. You're going to fill in those gaps between the hairs. We're going to make this a little bit bolder. And then she also has sort of shorter eyebrows, so we're going to draw a little bit extra length and just kind of carry that out with the brows. So I have a brow pencil here, or a brow, I think it's technically considered, it says universal brow pencil, but it's not like an actual sharpening pencil. It's more of a gel crayon. And we're just kind of brushing this in between the hairs. We're just kind of getting that backdrop, getting that reinforced. I like to go at the beginning of the eyebrow and just kind of do a couple little flick up to kind of create that shape. And then we're going to kind of follow this just around. You want to follow the brow bone. Just kind of, you can feel a little bit where the brow bone is. You're just kind of wanting to follow that with the pencil and just draw a little bit of a tail on the brow. And here's the thing, scare you. I
just startle easy.
I smudged a little. The thing with eyebrows, if you've heard this from other makeup videos, your eyebrows should be sisters, not twins. And here's the thing, we're not going to be looking at this close up. It's more about implanting the pigment, making sure they can be well seen from a distance, and that you have the shape that you're looking for. Beyond that, we're not going to be overly concerned. Overall shape and level of pigment is the most important thing when you're kind of coloring in the brows.
If you scare the waitress at Jenny's after the show, that's her problem, not yours.
Exactly.
And that means that you did something right with your makeup.
You might learn the first time you ever try this out. If you immediately then look at yourself in a close-up camera, you're going to be very startled at the look, but the idea is that you are seeing this from a distance. The
And
expression,
under some really crazy hot, heavy lighting.
yes, the expression exists. Paint for the back of the house for a reason.
I haven't heard that. I've done like so many plays, I haven't heard that before.
I'm going to be a little extra and put on highlighter. You don't have to put on highlighter for stage makeup, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I like highlighter. It makes you a little glittery.
Yeah, we're going to give you a little glow.
Little shimmer, sparkle, shine.
So again, like we were just kind of talking about with blush, you would normally not wear a large amount of blush probably to your average, you're going out. But if you're wanting to be seen, especially if you're trying to create like a flushed look or anything like that, it's going to be a little bit more intense. And the reason I like these Trixie Cosmetics blushes is because they are very pigmented. A little goes a long way. So actually for stage makeup, they're perfect.
And yeah, that's actually good to point out. We're not using any brand of actual stage makeup. This is all stuff that you can buy from different well, you can get stage makeup off of websites. What am I talking about? But this is all just like typical stuff that a lot of people use on day-to-day wear.
Yes, this is just, there's a combination of drugstore, some online, some indie brand, and it's a really kind of a mix of everything.
We're just going to be stacking it more than you would be for school or the office.
Yes. I'm going to take sort of a big, kind of a medium fluffy brush here, and I'm actually going to use, this is this Trixie Cosmetics Summer of Love palette, and I'm going to use this really bright pink.
Are they still available? Because
Yes.
Mama needs.
They are still available. And so as you can see, as I start to put this on, super pigmented. This is one little tap in the brush. And we're going to really just kind of go in on the apple of the cheek.
And I really do think that that's a big difference between a lot of the drugstore makeups, especially for blushes and eyeshadows, things where the pigment is important. If you go get CoverGirl or Revolution or some of these, you're going to be putting on layer after layer after layer and maybe not getting anywhere near the color that is in the pan. Mm-hmm. But you get like the Trixie Cosmetics, the Jeffree Star, the ColourPop. Those are pretty consistent and they're very stackable. So you just like dip again if it's not dark enough or bright enough, and you can keep layering that until it looks the way you want.
And I actually saw something very interesting too with the Trixie Cosmetics. If you are a person of color, color theory is important when you're factoring in, your base skin tone. Because there's a purple blush palette, and these are purple toned blushes. I have tried a couple of them on my skin tone. They've not worked very well, but I've seen where some black skin and other people of color use these, and it's because you are layering purple on top of a dark tone. It actually looks pink.
Oh.
And so color theory is important. Factor in, obviously what works on my skin tone or her skin tone is not going to work maybe the same way for somebody who's a person of color. But that's why there's a good thing that there are other options out there. A purple might not work as a blush for someone who is Caucasian, but maybe for someone who is Black or African American or Latina, it might actually look different.
I had no idea. That's awesome. I've seen some of these colors and I'm like, who would want that? But okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. Okay, so for the eyeshadow, we're going to focus on sort of a neutral palette, but then kind of add in a little bit of a sparkly green, just to kind of, give a little bit of a highlight to the face.
So that you can basically tell in the audience that there is eyeshadow
You can tell that there's eyeshadow.
But if you were doing something like a child's makeup, or maybe something like the Crucible where makeup really wasn't a thing they would have, you would probably just stick completely with neutral colors.
Yeah, and actually the good thing is about neutral colors, having a variety of tans and browns and warm tones or grays, is that you can use that to sort of contour and shade the face and sort of create, the aesthetic that you're going for. So I'm going to start with, this is just a general like tan shade, and we're going to start by just kind of packing at first just a little bit above the crease of her eye, where the eyelid meets the top. And I'm just going to kind of pat, and then I'm going to swirl that around a little bit. You want to go above your eyelid when you are doing stage makeup. Some people only put eyeshadow on their eyelid, maybe a little bit above the crease, but if you have hooded eyes, you can't really do that, or if you're doing stage makeup, because the idea is, your eyes are going to be open.
Nobody has jasmine eyes around here.
That's right.
We have to work with what we've got.
We have to work with what we have. I'm going to take sort of a smaller brush, and we're just going to pack a little bit of a darker color into, see this line here? This is what I call the crease. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna put a little bit of this on with this kind of real precise brush, but then I'm gonna take something a little bit fluffier and kind of diffuse it out a little bit. But this is just kind of putting down that color. And the good thing is if you go a little over the area that you kind of intended to fill in with that color, you can, you know, use some foundation or some eyeshadow base to sort of go back. Or I've actually seen people use Vaseline to kind of wipe off the area that they want to kind of go back and put that lighter shade in. Put a little bit of a gold metallic on the inside. Now, like I said, we're going to do a little bit of a sparkly green. I'm actually going to kind of take it along the crease and outer corner. You wouldn't normally take maybe the color quite out this far or, you know, be this high, but the idea is, you know, you're seeing this from a distance.
I love how I'm sitting here and you're going, now this looks awful, but it's supposed to look awful. Like you're making me nervous.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Look, you know, we've said is that, you know, the idea is that it looks one way from, you know, close up. It looks another way from a distance. You know,
who was that artist that did the little stipples and it looks really blurry, but then you back up and it's like, oh, look, that's a lovely painting.
Yeah.
Google search it, commenters.
Sound off in the comments
Yes.
if you know who we're talking about, as we just come up with random references.
I feel like Descartes is the answer, but I know that's not the answer. So I said something wrong. That means the comments are going to explode with people going, no, you fool.
You are so wrong. So now here comes the time where I have to get inappropriate because I have to put eyeliner on her. So I have to lean. So you just close your eyes here.
See, when you do my makeup, I always feel like, oh my God, I do it so wrong at home.
I mean, we could go probably a little bit bolder, but I think like this is probably enough to see it. But I mean, you know, it also like, I think the most important thing you can think about when you're doing stage makeup is dress rehearsals should be makeup rehearsals, and play around with it. Don't, you know, say, okay, I'm going to decide how I'm doing my makeup for this character opening night.
Yeah, oh no, don't do that. Yeah,
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know, you want to make sure you're really kind of taking the time, play around with some things, figure out what your look's going to be, and maybe try it out a couple times prior to even the dress rehearsal to see, you know, does this work? And then obviously, you know, your director is going to see it from different angles. People operating the lights are going to be able to tell you if it really matches the aesthetic it needs to match. This is just basically a good starting point. Mascara, we're going to go in and do the mascara, and then we are going to do the lips, and then we'll be done.
I hate mascara. It feels like little tarantulas trying to break into my body.
I hate putting mascara on other people.
This is your job today as a volunteer.
Oh, yes.
I'm voluntelling you. You're putting on the
All
mascara.
right, open your eyes. Look up. Look up.
Ah, there's little hairs on it.
Oh, it's one of your hairs. One of your lashes decided to abandon ship onto my eyelash brush.
You're welcome for all the millions of little mites that probably came with that.
Piece of you will always be with me now.
By the way, weird PSA, but try not to share makeup with people.
Yeah, we are sharing this because, like, we are best friends. We both know that we are fully vaccinated, and we, you know, sanitize, brushes,
But
things
yeah,
like that.
like your whole face, your body, your eyelashes, they all have little microscopic things living on them, and when you use the brushes, like they carry over.
Actually, I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to put this green a little.
I really thought you were about to say, actually, I'm going to go throw this away right now.
Now, I'm going to put a little green under your eye. You can open your eyes.
Oh,
You got to look
yeah,
up.
okay.
I'm gonna
Unpleasant.
Okay. Now we are going to do lips. So we talked about a little bit with kind of contour. You know, you want to overemphasize, maybe overdraw a little bit. You know, we're not going to go too excessive, but you want to follow the natural curves of the lips. One thing I've always heard with, you know, drawing a lip contour is that you want to make the overdraw meet the, you know, especially like, you know, the sides of the mouth. You know, everything should kind of come back seamlessly to that part. And I'm really not going to overdraw her very much because she has a pretty good lip shape here. So we're really just kind of going, almost touching, the bottom of the pencil is essentially touching her natural lip, and we're just going just a mite above it, and then kind of bringing that lip liner down into the rest of the lip, and then just having it match that side. And then we're going to take this and we're going to go just a little bit on this underside here, and then just kind of matching that. You can use different color lip liners based upon the lipstick that you intend to put on top, but you also can just use a natural nude shade, and then, you know, still you can put whatever color lipstick on top. Okay, so now I'm going to take this liquid lip, and we're just going to fill in.
And you really want a liquid that will dry matte, correct?
Yeah, I think the liquid lips, especially the ones that dry matte, those tend to be the ones that are more transfer resistant. Those are the ones that, you know, if you have to mind putting something to your mouth, if you are going to be, or heck, I mean, I know there's stage kisses and things, but like where you're putting your hand over your mouth, you're not actually kissing the other person, but any sort of contact to your mouth, you want to make sure the lipstick is not going to transfer onto anything else and sort of dry down and stay. So that's the best thing that I like about the ones that are matte. All right, so basically we are ready for setting spray, and then we're all done. I have a matte setting spray that we're going to spray with, and I'm going to shake this up a little bit.
There's actually, though, a different trick that people use with hairspray.
Yes.
I've never heard of before we sat down tonight, but I guess you can use hairspray and that will set your makeup maybe forever. We don't know.
There are, I have heard of it as a drag trick and a stage trick, and then actually we were kind of perusing what was available here in the back room. Backstage, and there were some cans of hairspray. Some of them maybe look like they were from 1985, but that's fine, you know?
That's when they got donated.
That's when they were donated, so. It's a little bit more misty. I think, oh, the sprayer's broken. That would be part of it. Also, just a good thing too with the Beauty Blender, you can also take, if the mist doesn't come out quite the way you intended it, or you can also just kind of take your damp Beauty Blender and very gently sort of press that setting spray into the skin so that it is absorbed. I also, you know, have seen people use fans, things like that to help sort of fan that into the face. But yeah, so we are all done with this makeup look.
Let's get in close here. How does it look? Oh, it's kind of cute. I kind of like it. I'm kind of adorable. I'm going to go to the store after this and get all the compliments. Okay, so as you can see, we were going to go on the stage, but I could not figure out how to get the stage lights on. I don't know. They've shown me. I apparently am just derpy and don't remember how to do it right. So we've got a big spotlight work light here to simulate some stage lights. And as you can see, it's a very different look than when you get right up in the camera with it. So yeah, that's what you want with stage makeup. You want to be able to see it from a distance, to see it from many rows back, and remember, you must project as you are acting, unless your theater is kind and gives you microphones. So my darlings, we are going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Danny Quinn, for coming in and doing this. We're about to enter the darkness where all the ghosts are. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, especially comment. And we love you for watching. We thank you for watching. Roundtown Players is so excited to be doing these projects and having you here with us. And please leave us some ideas in the comments of what you'd like to see from us in the future. Otherwise, we will see you next time, our dearest, funnest, craziest of friends. Happy theatering. Break a leg, that's the one you want. Bye. Okay, it might do the limbo on us. We'll find out. But, oh no!
Oh no!
One of these days we're gonna get it. I just don't know if it's gonna be today or next year. Your boyfriend is gonna be like, what happened? You've been gone for 16 years.
One of these days, maybe we'll do a video where I just do one side of your face.
Oh, that would be neat. Oh, I wish I would have thought of that before we started now.
So now for blush, again, like we said, you want to go with...
They're coming right through here.
Oh, wait for a second.
Catch him already. I feel like something just flew by my ear. Did you see a bee or something?
No, it must be the theater ghost.
D? I know my hair does not want to stop having wispies in the way. It wants to be part of the show so bad. We're eventful tonight.
I know.
How did the lights? Yeah, the lights went down outside and everybody went cray cray.
All right.
Watch like this building's gonna be on fire downstairs.
We left the computer on with the fire, the light booth.
Oh Lord, right through.
So we're waiting a minute. And scene.
Roundtown Players Theater thanks you for watching our content. We are a non-profit, volunteer-ran community theater located in Circleville, Ohio, and we would love to have you like, comment, or share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again, and break a leg.